Hey there, YouTubers. Today's video is going to be the topic that it says it is. And I may offend people on all sides, so that's wonderful. My intention is not to offend. My intention is to share a rambling thought. Today I'm in the UP, and today is the opening of hunting season. Well, technically, hunting season already opened with bow season and all that stuff, but this is when you can go out, get your deer tags, and you can hunt. I'm a New York City kid. Then I got sent to live in Ohio when I was in my teenage years. So I did not grow up in a hunting culture, but I kind of respect it. So I also, about me, I grew up like most Americans eating food the way we eat food. And I've been slowly going more vegan. I kind of started with that, meatless Mondays, and I've progressed further. But I'm also not that kind of vegan. And if you are that kind of vegan, what I want to say is sometimes you can be annoying when you're a purist. You don't help whatever cause you think you're helping by insulting people. So I'm trying to do more vegan stuff, but I'm also gonna post videos on how to do it. But I also know a lot of people are not vegan and might not want to be vegan. So if I'm sharing a recipe, because I grew up as basically a carnivore, if you've watched my videos until not that long ago, I was darn near keto. I mean, oh yeah, I better eat some broccoli with this 5-pound slab of meat I'm eating. So my cooking will still continue to be like substituting fake meat for real meat. So if I do a cooking video, you can easily say, well, I'm not going to use Impossible, I'll use hamburger, and you can make a recipe the way you like it. But hunting season opening up made me think that there's something worth talking about. As I said, I grew up in the city, so I didn't hunt. When I moved to Ohio, I think the amount of animals I have killed, I guess purposely, you hit stuff with your car, that doesn't really count. I think I've killed 3 turkeys, caught them, killed them, cleaned them, and cooked them, and a couple chickens. I didn't love it, but I spent my life, as most people do, a hypocrite. I've made the slow transition towards vegan for 2 reasons. It's better for my health. I can look at my test results and lab results and how I feel. It is better for my health. And I've watched enough documentaries on how industrial farming treats animals, and I find it pretty disturbing. For so long, I was that hypocrite that I was able to go into a grocery store and have some cognitive dissonance and separate my mind from the reality of what's going on. You put it in a nice, pretty package, and you don't realize just the horrific way that people do stuff. So if you're a person, whether you're a vegan or a normal person that doesn't really like hunting, I think out of all the groups, the hunters might deserve the most respect because they don't live in that world. And if you're gonna eat meat, there's nothing much healthier than you can eat than things you've hunted. Because, newsflash, if you shoot a deer, which is a terrible thing to think about. Again, I don't want to kill anything, but I can take my personal beliefs away and understand where people are coming from. That sad act of killing a deer, that meat is going to be far more healthy for you than anything you're going to get from the grocery store. That deer went around and it ate the things that deer eat. I lived in Texas for a while, and you see the huge stockyards. I've been on roads where every direction you look, as far as you can see, are cows waiting for slaughter. The things that are fed to the food that we eat, the animals that we eat, are not the things those animals eat. You don't see cows in cornfields eating corn. It's not what they eat. When you force them to eat it, then they eat it, and you pump them full of antibiotics and all kinds of stuff. So the first check, if you're going to eat meat, the hunter wins. The hunter also wins because they don't waste. I met a bow hunter, and we became friends, and we went on a long hike. I think I put a video of the hike on there. And it was like, oh, cool, what a great hike. I'm hiking like this. He was hiking carrying like 60 pounds of extra weight because he was starting to build up for hunting season, because when he kills an animal, he's got to carry it out. So they show respect. They eat the animal. They eat a healthier meat. If you're going to eat meat, it's just a healthier way to do it. I've been to, when I lived in Denver, there's a famous restaurant called the Buckhorn. And if you go in there, at first it might be a little disturbing that every inch of wall in that entire restaurant has an animal head, because their claim to fame is all kind of exotic and wild game. Elk, yak, anything you can think of is weird, you can order it there. Anybody that gets offended by a hunter, many of you have gone to a restaurant and eaten veal. It's pretty disturbing what's done to that animal. So check for the hunters. Continuing on, when you think of hunting, like especially in the UP, I did a tiny bit of research for this video. The non-research part is, I come up here and I think, well, everybody up here hunts. Not everybody up here. Maybe 50%, 60% of people go hunting. But for them, it's as much about camaraderie and going with your buddies. The people that hunt have camps up here in the UP, and they go to camp. And today being opening day, there are probably a lot of places that if you needed to call somebody to have work done or do something, you might not get it done today, because a lot of people treat it like the Super Bowl and they take today off to go hunting because it's in their culture. They're not bad people. But the research I did, the UP kind of looks like this. This is your hand, and here's a regular Michigan here. So if you divide it in like 3 sections, the top, the middle, and the bottom, the top section is you can't shoot anything that doesn't have antlers. So that means you can't shoot juvenile bucks and you can't shoot does. I find that to be a good process. The middle section along here is they have lotteries for doe hunting. There ain't a lot of them. So not a lot of does are shot down here either. And in the bottom, it's kind of the same way, with a little bit more of does being allowed to be shot. Again, I don't want to shoot a deer, but I don't want to judge somebody that does. So you pay, in the UP, you pay $20 to get your tag, the first tag. And the second tag, I think it was $190 for your second tag. Well, most hunters, they're going to camp to have fun with their friends, to hopefully bag a deer, and they will feed their family pretty much till next season on that deer. Is that worse than hypocrites like me that go to the grocery store and buy stuff and throw it in their freezer, and then half the time like, oh, I got it freezer burned, I didn't do it right, and throw it away? The hunter has to prepare their deer. They have to see how the sausage is made. Many hunters just do the gross stuff and then take it to a butcher to be processed, but some do the whole thing. Are they better or worse than a hypocrite like me who went to the Piggly Wiggly? Well, I've never been to a Piggly Wiggly. I'm not from the South, but we'll say Kroger's. I know what Piggly Wiggly is. But who's worse? In a vegan's eyes, which person is worse? And is a vegan perfect either? If you're going to cook vegan meals, there are some people, like corn is a chicken substitute, Quorn, or however you spell it, but it has some egg in it. So a real vegan's not going to eat that. And a real vegan might look at me as a terrible human being for eating that. Well, am I as bad as that hypocrite? Am I as bad as that horrible person, in your opinion, that shot a deer or a goose or whatever animal they shot? We all have to look at each other with a little bit of common sense. And if you're one of those strict vegans that judge a lot of people, again, you're hurting your cause by turning people off to what I have learned is a great way to eat. Also, if you're making a transition to vegan cooking, you might have a recipe that calls for like Worcestershire sauce. Well, they make a vegan version of it because normal Worcestershire sauce has a tiny bit of fish oil or something in it. Now I'm not going to throw away a bottle that I have. If I buy the next bottle, I will probably try to buy the vegan bottle. And again, for me, health concerns, it's just a healthier diet. And go on one of the streaming services and watch some of these documentaries on how industrial farming of animals is done. Watch how repulsive it can be the next time you go to the grocery store, or the next time you look at somebody hunting and think they're the terrible human being. Again, don't want to shoot Bambi, don't like the idea of it, but that person did the real thing. They weren't a hypocrite. They went out there and they took care of the animal and respect the animal. When you see somebody, I don't get it. I understand it, but I don't get it. If you bag a deer and it's got a good rack on it and you want to have it mounted on your wall, I don't get it. But that's also a sign of respect to that animal that helped feed you. So for me, I think going vegan is the best way to go. The food is really, really good. Again, there's going to be some videos coming along of me cooking vegan stuff that would surprise any non-vegan. And I will go back and back again that I'm telling you, I was as big a carnivore as anybody I know. And you can still find good stuff. So if you're interested in the way I cook, and you have been interested in the way I cook in the past, remember, if you want to watch some of these upcoming videos, you can replace the fake meat with real meat. And every now and then you might say, well, I'm just going to grab a bag of the Impossible. Because I've learned something else as well. They're the two kind of fake hamburgers. You have Impossible and Beyond. Both of them are good. Beyond is great on a burger, but it has a distinctive, strong flavor and smell and taste to it. So if you're using it in other things other than hamburgers, it's pretty heavy duty. It kind of overwhelms the other flavors. So I think if you're going to cook with a fake meat, the Impossible meat is a little less of that. It's a little more neutral, more real hamburger-ish than the distinctive smell of Beyond Meats. But Beyond Sausages, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that tastes very good. I'm not going to be, well, I haven't had much meat in 2.5 months, maybe 3 months. But I'm not full vegan. And again, if you're a member of the vegan police, they're going to call for my head because I'm in the UP. So I think over the last month or so, I've had about 5 pasties. And if you don't know what a pasty is, if you're new to this, I don't want to insult a pasty by calling this, but it's kind of a meat and vegetable pie, but it's much better than that. I had a couple Kudagis since I've been up here, and a Kudagi is an Italian sausage sandwich. Kind of, pasties and Kudagis are Upper Peninsula things. You don't find them many other places. And I went to Costco and I had a hot dog and I had a slice of regular pizza. So other than that, the past 2.5, 3 months, that's pretty much the only meat I've eaten. So again, a vegan's going to look at me as a terrible person. A regular eater is going to look at me like, why are you eating that stuff? And a hunter's going to be like, yeah, I went out and I shot my own deer and it tasted better than everything you ate. So who's right and who's wrong? Try not to judge. Try to keep your mind open. Try new things. I was adamant that I didn't want this stuff, this fake meat stuff, but it's better than I thought it was going to be. So open your minds. Don't judge other people. And you'll have a great and wonderful day.